What's going on, y'all? Orel Moody here, founder of the True Speaking Success System, and I am so excited that you are here for our online masterclass. Now listen, I'm going to show you exactly how to attract colleges and schools to book you to speak. This is going to be super amazing, but I need you to do something with me before we get started. It's so easy when you watch an online masterclass to have your phone out, still checking Instagram, Facebook, be like, all right, I'm going to listen to your webinar, but let me just scroll through the sports scores real quick. I'm going to listen to your webinar. Let me just see if Kim Kardashian has posted anything interesting lately. Don't do that for this webinar, okay? I'm going to need at least 60 to 75 minutes of your attention, but I promise you it's going to be absolutely worth it. This is going to 100% transform your life. This is going to be game-changing information. Your future self deserves for your current self to be focused. So I know it's super like, oh, let me just check the phone. Just put it on airplane mode, turn it over, throw it into your sock drawer. Just put it somewhere where you're not gonna be out of your whack of focus and be focused here. So if you have pen and paper, take it out. If you've got your Word document and you like to take notes, we're gonna be doing a lot of note taking with this. And in addition, I am going to give you a link on this webinar for how to get the 19 groups that are booking speakers at schools and colleges right now. These are the groups that represent tens of thousands of speaking engagements. And you'll know exactly who they are. And on this webinar, this masterclass, you will learn exactly how to attract these people to want to hire you to speak. So it's going to be super exciting. And for any of you that are interested in taking things further, I'm going to make sure to tell you about our True Speaking Success System. It's our online course. It's our flagship course that's going to give you everything you need to truly take your speaking career to the next level. So for those of you who want support, I got you at the end of this as well. But let's jump in to make sure we can get the best information possible right now. So quick background on me, but I want to take you back, way back. I want you to, before I spoke at over 1,000 paid speaking engagements, spoken over 500,000 people in 48 states and 5 countries, before the 3 TEDx talks, before speaking for governments, and I speak at a lot of schools and colleges. I also speak at entrepreneurship groups, corporations, businesses, government groups, tons of different niches. Before all of that, I want you to go before I got the Inc. 30 Under 30 award, which names one of the top 30 entrepreneurs under the age of 30 in the entire country. People like Mark Zuckerberg have been on this list. So if you know anything about Inc. magazine, you know it's like the Oscars of entrepreneurship. I want to go before that. I want to go before I was acknowledged by President Obama for my engagements, my insights on youth engagement, before I was invited to events where folks like President Clinton were also there, before I had any kind of juice like that, before I spoke at the White House 2 times in a row, but before that, before I've been featured in USA Today, New York Times, just tons of different Essence Magazine, Black Enterprise, before all of those things, before I was on TV as a commentator, before I was getting checks like this from speaking at schools, and I'm going to show you the exact groups that show you how to get checks like this. I'm not saying you're going to get these checks, right? There's a lot that goes into it, but I'm going to show you exactly how I did it and how you can do it too. Before I was a family man, I'm going way back before I was married with 2 beautiful kids. I was a kid from the projects, and I grew up on welfare, and it was a tough neighborhood. And I went through a lot of deep, dark challenges. I went through suicidal times. I went through very depressed times. I felt like, everyone seemed to be good at something except me. I got picked on a lot. I got bullied a lot. I know firsthand how destructive words can be because they beat me down for so long. My dad's black, my mom's white, and you get whatever this is. My dad's Jamaican, my mom's Jewish. I like to call myself Jamaican, right? But where I grew up was predominantly African American. There was not a lot of people who looked like me. So because I look different, just because of any time you're different, it makes you a target. You get made fun of, you get picked on, and I was no different. And I knew that I wanted my life to be different. And the challenge was I didn't know how. And for me, I wasn't going to be a rapper. I wasn't going to be an actor, singer, NBA player. So I thought, college would be my way out. So after going through some very deep, depressing things, and I wrote about that in my first book, Your Starting Point for Student Success, and how I overcame them, I thought college was going to change my life. So I go to college and I meet a young lady there. That is Yolanda. She might look familiar because that's my wife. But you may be saying, what's that background picture? So we're actually in Korea. So I met her and, was very smitten. And she was going off to Korea to teach English for a year. So me being the hard-headed young guy I was, I said, I'm going to figure out how to come visit you. So I washed dishes. I threw out garbage. I worked just horrible jobs to save up enough money to get a plane ticket to go to Korea to visit her. So I save up for a whole year. I go out there, I visit her, and I'm super excited to be with her. But the challenge is, well, there's nothing in English. I don't know if you can see behind me, all that's in Korean because we're in Korea. So she was teaching English from about 9 to 3 every day. So I was just waiting around all day with nothing to do. And I was just about 19 at the time. So I'm like, man, I don't know what to do to keep myself busy. Nothing on TV was good. She happened to have picked up a book in the airport. That was the only book she saw that was in English. And I remember her saying, I bought it because the cover was pretty. And she just wanted something to read. So I was like, well, I've never read a book from cover to cover, but I guess I should start now. That book was Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I don't know if any of you have ever read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It's an incredible book that switches your mindset about how wealthy people think and how poor people think. And I was like, yo, I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna be super successful and become an entrepreneur. So I said, that's what I'm gonna do. And I started saying, well, what do I have to do? I started interviewing successful people. I met my current mentor, who was an entrepreneurship professor at the university I was attending. And I came up with an idea to start a business called Place Finder. It was an off-campus housing service that helps students find housing, roommates, and sublets. And I was gonna be rich. I knew it. I was gonna be a multi-millionaire by the time I was 21. And my vision of success was pretty much this. I wanted to pour champagne on people's faces. I swear to you, I wanted to be so wealthy, right? And I didn't even care about the work I was doing. I just wanted to make money. I genuinely wanted to do this. I wanted to walk up to people in the street, smack them in the face, and they would turn around, and then I would throw money at them and be like, and it'd just be like, how much money would I have to throw at them for them to not get mad that I just smacked them in the face? I wanted to go to clubs and take champagne and pour it on people who didn't ask me to. And then they would turn around and get mad, and I would give them like 10 grand and just be like, chill out. That's the kind of, that's who I would have become, right? I would have become the materialistic, egotistical person because that's what I saw as success. The greatest thing that happened to me in starting that business was I got humbled. For about 4 years, I gave everything I could into that business. And I tried my best to make it super successful. And I got into $40,000 in personal credit card debt. We made every single mistake in the book. And I don't know if you've ever had the experience of trying to run a business, whether it's your speaking business or another business, and it's just not working. And it's driving you nuts because I was reading the magazines of all these people who were doing well, and I was seeing them succeed, and I wasn't. And it became just this debilitating pain. I remember just saying, like, am I not cut out for success? Like, am I not supposed to make it? Like, well, maybe some people are and some people aren't. And I wasn't, because I thought I could do everything myself. I didn't think I needed anyone. I was smarter than everyone else. I read a couple of books. When you get first into personal development, and tell me if you've had this experience, you know just enough to be a jerk, honestly. Most people, when they first get into personal development, they actually think they are helping people, but we're pretty much jerks in the beginning. You know why? Because we go up to people and we say, I know how successful people think. You don't. Let me show you. I haven't accomplished anything yet, right? But I'm telling people I know something that they don't. And I'm telling people, you got to, sky's the limit. And so it's not that anything I'm saying is wrong. It's that my intent and how I was acting was immature. I kept thinking, it doesn't matter what you're going through. I know things you don't. Let me show you what I know. And it just went on and on for years. And I remember I got to this place where I was pretty much just, I'll never forget it. We had a problem with our website, and we finally got a paying client, and we lost all their information, and the website was down. And they called us back, and it was like, I want my money back. And it was the only money we had, and we already kind of spent it. And I didn't have my credit cards were maxed out. I remember going onto my floor, and I tried to hold, I had a pug at the time, and I tried to pull my pug close to me just to get some kind of comfort, right? And he didn't want me to hold him. You know, he was a dog. He didn't care. He was just like, get off me. And he ran away. And I remember sitting there crying on the floor, thinking, my dog doesn't even like me. I don't know what I'm doing in business. Like, I hated life. I hated myself. And I made a promise to myself with every single intention of my being. I said to myself that, God, if you can get me out of this, if you can, you know, show me the way. I don't want to be the guy pouring champagne on people. I don't want to be the jerk. I want to genuinely help people. I want to make a difference. If you can allow me to figure out who are the people I need to learn from, who are the people that I can grow from, I will do whatever you ask me to do, right? So the very first thing is I started saying, who are the people that can help me? Who are the people that can make a difference? And there was a business coach I found. And I was about 21, no, I was about 4 years, I was about 22, 23 since I first started that business. And I found this guy who I thought would help. He was very successful in business and sales. So I said, you know what? I want you to be my coach. And he said, absolutely. And he said, the coaching program I have is $5,000. And I said, oh my God, like, you know, I'm just out of college. I don't have a lot of money. You know, could you, you know, give me a shot? And I'll never forget this. He looked at me and he said, if you're serious about your future, you'll find a way to get involved in this program. If not, no harm, no foul, good luck. And I was so mad at him because I was like, why aren't you giving me a shot? $5,000 is a lot of money. I don't have anything right now. Why are you not like seeing my potential? Why are you not giving me an opportunity? I was so mad at him, right? And I wanted to just kick this guy. Like, I was so mad at him because I thought he would just give it to me, and he didn't. So this is what I did, and I don't know if this is the right thing to do, but it's what I chose to do because at that time I said I'm going to do whatever it takes. I called up my credit card company and I said, listen, I need an extension, I need you to raise my limit. And he said, why? I said, well, I'm an entrepreneur, I got some business expenses coming up, and I need a limit to help me float through some expenses. So they asked me what my revenue was and my income, and I lied. I'm not proud to say it, but I gave a high number so that they would increase it. So they increased it, and then I put the whole program on my credit card. And I remember saying to myself, I'm gonna show this guy, like, I'm gonna squeeze every drop of this program. I'm gonna learn everything I possibly can, and I'm gonna apply everything to show him that I'm not some loser, that I can get it done. Like, it became this obsession of mine. And what was interesting is because I put so much up, I didn't wanna just like, you know, I had read books before, I had gone to the library and gotten free books, but there was something about me putting my money where my mouth is that changed. And I said, I'm gonna squeeze every drop. Everything he told me to read, I read twice. Every program he told me to listen to, I listened to twice. Every video he said to watch, I watched. Every meeting he said to be to, I was at everything. I squeezed every drop I possibly could out of that, and it paid off tremendously. There was a huge increase in our sales, in our business. Then I started getting into speaking, and with speaking, I started speaking to just students about helping them make right choices. You know, I was saying, hey, I went to college, I made some good choices, I made some bad choices, let me show you what I did. And then my focus, instead of it being on, I'm just gonna extract as much money as I can from the world, it was, I'm gonna give as much value as I can to the world, and I'm gonna extract the money through the systems I learned as a byproduct. Now what I care about is stuff like this, because this is amazing. I want you to read on the left side here. It says, hey, Arel, I met you at a conference in Montana 1 billion years ago. Well, I'm here working at admissions at a university, and I thought you'd like to know that I just read a great essay by a student who has overcome tremendous challenges, and here's your warm and fuzzy for the day. The student says, during my junior year, my whole mindset changed when I heard a motivational speaker at my high school named Arel Moody. He made me realize that things will not turn out for me if I don't put in effort and don't take responsibility. And she says, great work, great work. And I go, oh my God, did you accept her, admit her? She's like, yeah, she got accepted, and not just because she name dropped. Then there's the picture of the book. You know, that's the first book that I wrote. And to see students post pictures of them highlighting so much and doggy-earing it, saying this book has helped me, means so much to me. And then on the bottom, this person said, hey, well, I watched you speak at my college a couple years ago, and your words were inspiring, especially when you talked about your experience with suicidal thoughts. That day you were on the building, I related a lot to that, and it was a time that I was very suicidal due to family issues. Now I'm back in school and doing much better. And I always said to myself that someone like you who's successful can make it through that time period in your life, and so can I. Love to hear you next time you come back to New York City. And, here's the most amazing thing. This is where my work is. My work is in transforming lives and getting paid really well to do it. That's the key. You want to do good work and make a good living at the same time. We call it impact and income. And what I want to do is make sure you have that for yourself. So I want you to extract every ounce of this webinar. I want you to take everything I say, every single morsel of juice that you can get out the orange and squeeze it, because what I found is when you have the mindset of, I want to get everything I possibly can out of something, you will. But if you say, oh, let me just see if there's something interesting here, let me just see if it's good, then you're not going to put the right mindset in. When my mindset switched to, I'm going to do whatever it takes to get as much of this information because it works, that's when my life changed. So this event's going to be a really good fit for you. Okay, this webinar today is if you know you can make a major impact, you just haven't figured out how to get paid what you're worth yet. If you're tired of putting in tons of effort and energy and feel frustrated that you're getting nothing back, if you know you should be getting way more back with speaking engagements and getting paid, you just don't know how to do it, this is going to be for you. And if you want success so badly, you don't want to be regular or average in anything you do. My promise to you is I cannot help you unless you're hungry. I wish I could say, oh, you just watch this webinar and you'll be good. You still have to do stuff. I'm not one of those people who tries to sell an easy magic red button that you press and you're good. You've got to want this so badly. I'm going to give you the keys. I'm going to say, put this in the ignition, turn it, drive here, go left, go right. This works, but you got to do it. So let's jump in. You will leave today knowing how most speakers are unknowingly repelling potential clients without even knowing it, and specifically what you can do to fix it. We're also going to talk about how to get clients to want to work with you by positioning yourself as the perfect solution to their most pressing problems. This is going to give you an unfair advantage to most people. This is going to be really good. And then I love this one. These are what are the client attraction elements you need to start booking speaking engagements immediately. All right, I'm going to show you exactly what you need, how to get it, what people expect to see to make sure you're positioning yourself, and you're going to have a brand after this webinar that will attract speaking engagements. I guarantee it. And you're going to get that list of the people that you can get speaking engagements from. All right, so if you're ready to jump in and get the good stuff, let's do this thing. All right, so this is my favorite question to ask people when they very, very first get started in the speaking business. I say, what's the biggest problem that you have? What is the biggest problem that you have? Now, I usually hear people say things like, oh, sales, marketing, this, that. They say a number of things. That's not your biggest problem. Whatever you think your biggest problem is, I promise you it's not. Because if you know what your biggest problem is, you can take action with it. So for example, you're like, oh, my biggest problem is I don't know how to do sales and marketing. Well, you learn how to do sales and marketing, it's not a problem. A mentor of mine said, if you have a problem that can be solved with action, you don't really have a problem. Think about it. If you have a problem that can be solved with action, you don't really have a problem because there's just the action that you take. The biggest problem that you have is the problem that you don't know that you have. The reason why that's your biggest problem is because if you don't know you have the problem, how can you possibly do anything to solve it? You can't because it's not even on your radar. And what happens for most speakers that I see, the big mistake that they make is they're walking around taking actions, communicating in a certain way that they think they're supposed to, and in reality, it's repelling potential clients from wanting to work with them. I see it all of the time. People say, hey, Aurel, I'm a great speaker. Check out my website. I jump on their website, and immediately I'm like, this person doesn't get it. And they don't even know. They don't even know what's repelling them. I'll give you some examples, okay? So these are real life examples. This is number one. I've pulled this from actual websites of people that I've helped, okay? So this is how it sounded, and just see if you can notice some patterns and if maybe any of your stuff sounds like this, okay? This one person said, Carlos is a very passionate, ambitious young educator. Time, effort, and heart is put into what he does. Carlos constantly aspired to improve his ability to inspire those that cross his path. Let's do a couple more. Steve is a leadership development and empowerment speaker who has followed his passion to help others through the gifts of speaking and writing. Other person, I was really encouraged to hear, but I didn't know what to do with it. Until now, I have realized that my happiness and fulfillment on the job, no matter what the job was about, was a gift that I can teach to others. What are you noticing about this language? Now, hopefully you're seeing it, right? The pattern is the majority of speakers on their websites, on their social media posts, on their email outreaches, they are putting out a brand that is what we call I-centered instead of being results-centered. People think, oh, if you're hiring me as a speaker, then I have to tell you about how amazing I am, which is totally false. There is an area in which you talk about how amazing you are, and we'll get to that, but it's not 90% of the stuff you put out there. Most people put out stuff like, I have a passion for speaking. I'm talented. When I speak, people listen. I have one of the most, I'm known across the land as one of the most dynamic educators and speakers that has ever graced a stage, and people naturally gravitate toward me. That's how most people talk. Stop talking like that. I swear, if any of you listen to this webinar and and you don't get involved with what we're doing, but I come to your website or whatever somehow and I see you talking in that superfluous language, I will find you when you are shopping for bananas at the grocery store, and when you're trying to check to see if there's any bruises or if it's a good banana, if it's a young, I'm gonna drop kick you in the back of your knees so you flop over and hit your head on the concrete, just enough to hurt you, but not enough to really hurt you. Don't let me do that. I don't wanna walk around drop kicking people. I'm non-violent, but there's something about that I-centered language that gets the dropkick rage up inside of me to levels of dropkick execution. You don't want to do that, okay? No, but seriously, I'm really serious about this. You want to stop talking about how amazing you are, because no one honestly cares. They don't. There's one place they care, and I'll tell you about that later. But stop doing that. Instead, I want you to focus on being results-centered, okay? Results-centered in your language. So this is an example of a student presentation that I do for leaders. It says, so many student leaders are thrown into a student group, basically told, go do it, but have no idea actually what to do. The leadership skills one gains while a student leader are the crucial skills that are applicable in the real world. Teaching them the skills they need to be successful as a student leader, as a professional, is what student leadership development is really all about. We show them how to do this in a fun and engaging, aha-inducing way. What do you notice about this? This isn't about me. This isn't about how great I am or how fantastic of a speaker I am. It's about the results and the benefits that the students, the school, will experience because of my program. I want you to first look through any website, through any emails you've sent out, and ask yourself, how many times did you use the word I, or did you use your first name? How much did you talk about yourself versus talking about what you can do for your potential clients? What you'll notice is the majority of people gravitate toward being I-centered and not result-centered. You want to immediately start talking about the impact that you make, the results you'll make, and I'll show you how to do that, okay? So, in addition to this mistake, the next thing I want you to stop doing is speaking on a topic known as booking. All right, so no matter what you speak about, I'm going to show you how to be more result-centered, and I'm going to help you save years and thousands of dollars of wasted time and hours and years of wasted time banging your head against the wall, speaking on topics no one is speaking about. No one's booking, okay? A lot of times I talk to people and say, yo, I really want to talk to students about the importance of getting into basket weaving. I think that basket weaving is an underutilized skill set, and I want to help students get more hobbies. Yeah, that's it. I want them to get hobbies. So I want them to hire me so I can tell them more about hobbies like basket weaving, because it's such a great hobby. Now that's that's a little, like, if you actually are going to speak about basket weaving, it's a horrible idea, right? Like, I'm going a little bit extreme here. But the thing is, people say, oh, this is important, I think it's important, again, I-centered, not results, not what does the school care about, not what the college is going through, not what the students need. It's what you think they need. The key is to fit yourself and the results that you share into topics that they're already booking. If you get this, I promise you, your life is going to be so much better, right? I want you to imagine which scenario is easier. What do you think is easier? Convincing someone they should pay for something they haven't thought about, or convincing someone to pay for something they've already thought about, they already have a budget for. They're not deciding should they pay for it, they're deciding which person should we pay to do it. Which one do you think is better, the first or the second? If you said the first, I will drop kick you in the bananas. Don't say the first one. I know you said the second one. Okay, no, seriously. Like, think about it. Is it better to try to convince someone they need something or to help them purchase something they already have a budget for? Now, here's how budgeting works. It's very important. Usually in the beginning of the school year or the semester, the school, usually semester, but some do school year, right? It's details. But they say, we have this much money to spend on these kind of activities. So if what you're doing fits into the types of activities they have a budget for, it's super simple for them to give you a shot. But if you're trying to talk about and position something that they don't have a budget for, they don't even know about, imagine the conversation. The person you're speaking to has to go to their boss and say, hey boss, I found this really cool person. They speak about the importance of underwater basket weaving. And then the boss is like, okay, that's great. Like, I gave you a budget. Like, why are you bringing this to me? No, but I think it's really cool. It doesn't fit anywhere. Like, we don't have a place for it. And budgets are very important that they adhere to it. Listen, many of the people that I work with, many of them, they have a budget allocated. If they don't spend the money, not only do they lose it, as in they can't carry it over to the next year, but the amount that they didn't spend, they lose the following year. If you get this, I'm so glad you're here, because we got so much more to cover, but this is super big, okay? So I want you to imagine you have $100, but you only spend 70 of it. You think, oh, that means next year I have 30 extra dollars, right? So I had 100, I spent 70, I got 30 left over. Here's how it works in a lot of the education world. I gave you $100, you only spent 70. So what that means is that $30, you don't actually need it because I gave you 100, you didn't spend it. So I'm gonna take that $30, so you lose it, and then next year, instead of giving you $100, I'm just gonna give you $70 because you don't need that extra 30, so why am I gonna give you extra money? Do you think anyone wants to lose money this year and next year? Nobody does. So they have incentive, they're incentivized to make sure that they're spending the budget they have allocated on the things they have allocated for. Now, how do you figure out what are those things? Very simple. You have to position the results that you offer people not as a headache. What most people do is they focus on headache level pains. So let me explain what I mean by that. If you've ever had a headache before, you've probably, taken aspirin, maybe you drink some water, might rub your temples, but you'll pretty much power through. Maybe eat a banana. Like, it might bother you and it's upsetting, but you'll power through, right? That makes sense? Yeah, you get it. It's a headache, right? We've all experienced headaches. Some of us, however, know what it's like to experience a migraine, okay? Have you ever had a migraine or know of someone that's experienced migraines? My mother's had migraines. I've never had it, thank God, and hopefully I never will. But my mom has it. When she has it, it's lights out. I mean, lights out. No sounds, no smells, no activities. People who suffer from migraines will do almost anything. They will inject illegal substances, this is real, into their faces to try to stop the pain. It's so pain-ridden. Anything, they'll do anything. It's a blank check, basically. If you say, I can stop your migraine, blank check. How much do you need? Because I can't go through that. You want your speaking to address migraine level pains. Because when you say, oh, I can help you with hobbies or I can help you with whatever, that makes someone go, oh, I can see why that's important, but it's a headache level, you're not going to get a check and you're not going to get brought in to speak. But if you can say, I can help you, and it's a migraine level pain, you're in business. So what are migraine level pains? Here's what they are, okay? These are the basic categories of migraine level pains, okay? So I want you to tie your results into some of, one of, or all of these categories, okay? Very important. So I'm gonna break them down. And when you look at your results, I want you to say, I'm gonna allow your folks to do this, right? Like, not like I'm such a great speaker. It's no, after my program, key language, instead of saying I'm so great because I'm so good, say after my program, your students, your faculty, your staff will be able to do dun, 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 in the way that you do it. And tie those results into these. First one, increasing graduation rates, okay? If you can show a high school that your program somehow will increase graduation rates, you're talking migraine level pain. Now, for example, let's go back to the person who was talking about underwater basket weaving. Let's say they tied their message into not just underwater basket weaving, but the importance of getting involved on campus. Creating clubs. Hey, maybe you don't even know how awesome basket weaving is because none of you ever done it. Maybe you should start a club. Let me show you how to find out what your interests are and show you how to start a club and attract other people to get involved in those interests. And then you show data, which is true, that students who are more involved and engaged graduate at higher rates. So now you're taking a presentation on basket weaving, which is not going to get booked, and now you're turning it into a message that will 100% get booked, right? Because if you're talking about getting students engaged so that they can start their own events, start their own clubs, increase graduation rates, and show how there's a direct link, now you're speaking their language. Decrease poor behavior. So students dropping out, big issue, big issue. Students not graduating, big issue. Bullying, big issue, right? Suicide, big issue, right? These are big issues. So if you can come in to show people how to create a more loving culture so that people don't bully, or showing people why school matters. So tying in your long-term goals into being involved right now. Because a lot of students, they go, well, what's the point of me learning this? This is stupid. But if you can get them to re-see their new goals, you can decrease poor behavior. One of the messages that I talk about is the idea that effort is everything. This is for high school students typically, right? So when I'm talking about effort, I'm saying, look, you don't gotta be smart, you don't gotta be talented, you don't gotta be rich, you just gotta put in effort. And then I take them through a series of ways for them to understand how applying hard work can actually be fun, seriously, we do that, and how it can help increase grades and then get them to actually graduate. So we do that, so we increase grades and we decrease poor behavior because now we're showing them, instead of putting their effort into bad activities, let's show them how to put their effort into good activities. So now that presentation is increasing graduation rates, decreasing poor behavior. Now let's go to the next one. Increasing attendance and participation / leadership skills. This is huge, right? Huge. If you can get more students to show up to events, right? To participate more in programming at a high school or a college, that's huge. It develops leadership skills. So I put / leadership skills because leadership is super, super, super important. You could take a lot of ideas. Like a lot of times people say, oh, I want to teach mindfulness. I had one person come up to me and say that. I want to teach mindfulness to students, Arel. Well, no one's walking around saying, I need to figure out how to make my students more mindful. They're not saying that. But if you can say, I want to teach how to become a more mindful student leader, so you can better understand yourself, so you can better serve people as a leader and get more people to show up to your events because you're creating more authentic events. Well, all of a sudden, you're talking migraine level solutions right now. So I want you to get this. The majority of you have a message that right now actually could get booked. You just haven't packaged it into the right results and into the right migraines yet. That's why, a lot of the people that get involved in our True Speaking Success System, our online course, or get involved with our mastermind, which is our monthly program, we work with them, or they see a new angle on how they can do what they do and take it to the next level. So I want you to start thinking about that. Like, what is it that I need to do to increase attendance? So for me, when I talk about effort, we talk about, hey, listen, you got to put in more effort when you're throwing events, right? It's one of the things we talk about. So let me show you how to put in effort. Here's the ways that you can do it, and you'll get more people to show up. Now you're having a more engaged, more connected student body. Huge. And then you can improve test scores. That's on a high school level for sure. If you can, show how to get better scores some way, right? So the thing is, it doesn't necessarily have to be, hey, let's do study skills. It could be that, but it doesn't necessarily have to be like, oh, let's improve your, SAT scores, and I'm going to show you these techniques. You could do that, like kind of like a Kaplan kind of thing. But it can also be talking about non-cognitive skills, soft skills, grit, perseverance, and showing how to do that when you're taking tests. It's pretty cool, So you can do that. Now, there are other niches as well. I mean, there's like alcohol and alcohol prevention, drug prevention, safe dating, preventing sexual assault, and those kind of things as well. I mean, there's tons of those things. But these are going to give you 4 that give you a really good starting point. So I want you to start looking at your message and saying, how do I connect what I'm doing to the result that's connected to a migraine level pain like this, right? So where can you actually do these type of events? So now that you're going to say, okay, I have my results, they're not eye-centered, they're result-centered, they're connected to migraine level pains, here are the different places you can actually do this. So this is very important, because when you're talking to people, you want to let them know you understand the lingo and that you understand what they're doing. So for example, colleges have keynotes and workshops typically. So a keynote is usually like a 45 to 60-minute presentation, typically 60 minutes, and it's you in front of like 500, 600 people. That's a keynote. A workshop is more like you and like maybe 50, anywhere from like maybe 20 to 100 students, and you're working with them. It's more intimate. So imagine a keynote is one to many, and a workshop could be 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours. It doesn't matter. You can just come up with different offerings you have. But colleges, when you speak to them, you want to say, hey, I'm a keynote speaker and workshop facilitator. Those are key phrases. Key phrases. So make sure to use that, because it makes sure you got the right brand. Okay? High schools, junior high schools, you want to do student assemblies. So typically a student assembly in a high school, junior high, what happens is all the students come out of class, go to the auditorium or gymnasium. Hopefully auditorium. Gyms are actually tough places to speak in because of the echo. So auditoriums are better. But they'll usually do that like period 1, period 2. They'll take the students out and bring them to an assembly. So let them know, like, if you have you're available for assemblies. That's the key words in that group. Now, you can do trainings for educators and administrators. Trainings. So it's something called PD, professional development, okay? PD, that's an insider language for doing trainings for educators and admins. So maybe you want to speak at schools, but you don't want to speak to students, or you want to speak in addition to students to the adults. I do this a ton. I'll give you a little bonus here. Some of the stuff we teach in the system is how to maximize your income for an event. So one of the things that we like to do is say, hey, bring us in to do a keynote for the students, and then either before the day starts at like 7:30 a.m. or when the day's over at like 3 p.m., let's do a PD or a training for your educators. So you can either just bump it up a little bit, or you can throw it in at no cost to like sweeten the pot. A lot of people don't think about doing this, right? Smart branding. So I did this a lot in the beginning. I would say if you did a keynote for free, I would give you a second presentation the same day at no cost. So what I would do specifically in this case is I do a keynote for the students and then a PD for the educators. Or I would do a PD, professional development, for the educators, and then a free keynote for the students, depending upon where they had their budget and their funding. And we have a sales system that actually allows you to ask questions. We call it the Super Sales Highway. And people will tell you their budgets, how much money they have, and tell you how they can work with you. Like they're convincing you to work with them in a really, really cool sequence that we have, which is really, really effective, right? But knowing that's really helpful, really, really helpful, okay? The last one, conferences for students or administrators. There's tons of associations and conferences that get together that bring a collection of students from various different schools. So imagine a college conference, instead of you going to like Joe Schmo University, you go to so-and-so conference that's got 50, 60, 70 colleges represented by, 2 to 3 students each. So imagine, I just did this like the last week. I spoke at an event that had 100 people. It was a conference for administrators. It had 50 colleges represented, 50 different colleges represented. Each college sent about between 2 and 3 people, some sent 1, to this event. So imagine getting paid to speak in front of a group of people that can all hire you to speak at their colleges. We show you exactly how to do that in the True Speaking Success System. Like, it happens. Like, it's my favorite thing in the world, to get paid, to give value, help people, and speak in front of people who can then bring me in to speak. And then we have very specific things we say and do during our presentation to make it not feel salesy or yucky. That's so super valuable, but then causes people to say, there's very specific things you do to make people go, yo, this person needs to come in and speak to our people, right? So conferences are a great place to do a presentation. It's like one of the best, right? Now, you know how to put your results together, how to stop repelling people, how to be migraine focused, right? You know what are migraines. You know where you can deliver this presentation. So you're putting together some incredible branding right now. Your messaging is incredible, way better than 90% of people out there just on this alone. Now, these are the most important elements for your branding. These are the elements that you need to convince people that they should say yes, right? If you don't have this, it's going to be very, 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 very difficult, okay? The first thing you want is a speaker video. You need a video. It is very, very, very rare in this day and age that someone will book you without seeing you speak, right? Very rare. Either they got to see you in person, or the second best is they got to see a video. So if you do not have a video of yourself speaking, you got to get one. We have live events where we record your video for you. That's something that we do. We do a lot of stuff for our members, right? But you can easily just, take out your phone and, record a video that way. There's tons of great video quality on a phone. Now, you need good lighting, so you want to do it during the day in a place that hopefully has a lot of windows. Like, you can do a free, call a local school and say, hey, I'd love to do a free talk, and get a free talk, but then, let them approve you recording it so you can get a video. You can rent out a room and just record yourself speaking in a conference room or something. Start where you are. You may not be at a place, like what we do for our members is we create these really incredible, like dynamic sizzle, they're called sizzle reels, like speaker demos that's like moving and shaking and high energy and music and clips and all that stuff. You may not be at a place where you can do that yet. Just my first speaking video was like 7 minutes long. Like, it was just a stagnant, just one camera. And it's just like, here's what I do. So you can start there, but you need a video of yourself speaking, okay? You need a website with pictures on it. Pictures of you in a crowd, pictures of you speaking on stage. Your website, you have to have a website up. And I swear to you, this is so simple, but I see it missing on so many people's websites. You gotta have a link that says speaking. People have the About Us page, the Contact Us page, the Services page. You gotta have a link that says speaking on your website. Super important, right? There's so many people that just miss it because it's so obvious that they don't think they need to. But if people come to your website and they don't see speaking, they don't think you speak. You think they're gonna go through all of this research on you? Like, they wanna get to what they need. So you need a website that's clean, that's beautiful, that has pictures of you doing your thing. And you want really good presentation titles and descriptions, right? Presentation titles let people know what you talk about, and the descriptions use that results-based language. Your talk about their migraines and how you can solve their migraines in your presentation titles and descriptions. Now, your bio, that is the one place, we talked about it earlier. I said there's one place where you can brag about yourself, it's the bio. In your about page or your who is page or your bio page on your website, you want to make sure you're making yourself sound like the best thing since sliced bread. That's where you can go, off the chain with it. It's better, in my opinion, to have objective things versus subjective. So subjective is, I am the most talented speaker you've ever heard. Objective is, I've spoken to thousands of students across the country, right? The more objective your bio, the better, because the more real it is. The more subjective it is, the more it's up for interpretation. Okay? Then you want to have good Google and social media results, okay? Here's what everyone does, right? I'll prove it to you. You probably saw an ad somewhere, or a friend referred this to you, or you saw something on social media that made you sign up for this. I promise you, either right before you signed up or right after, what did you do about me? You probably took my name and you put it into Google to see what popped up. You took my name and you put it into social media to see what popped up. And you did a little bit of research. Some of you did really thorough research. Maybe you read my articles, maybe you looked at my podcast, maybe you scrolled 52 weeks deep into my timeline, right? You do it. We do. This is America. This is the country we're in. Like, we have the technology. Of course we do this. The same thing happens for you. So you want to make sure you have pretty good search results in Google and social media that display and talk about you speaking. Because if I go to your social media account and it's just pictures of puppies or just pictures of you fishing, I'm not going to say this person is the real deal. So you want to have motivational quotes, pictures of you speaking, pictures of you helping people, doing community service, being of service to folks, writing books, something that when I look at, I go, oh, this person must be a big deal. So you want that on Google, so you can do like articles on Medium, you can do LinkedIn articles, it's tons of different things you can do. We have a whole list of things you can do in our True Speaking Success system that are super easy, free, and have high impact in your bio. But your Google and your social media has to let people know that you speak. The way I think about it is like a dance floor. Now, if I said this is the club that I want you to go to with me, does this look like a poppin' club? Does this look like the place? You got like a couple dudes over there in the corner. You got a couple of ladies that don't even look like they're dancing. They're just talking to each other. Most people's social media, Google results, websites, has a feel like this. Nobody wants to be the first person on the dance floor. Or I should say very few people want to be the first person at a dance floor. But if I show you an event like this, where it's like a bunch of people, hands in the air, come out to the party, it's gonna be awesome, right? It's a lot easier to go, oh, that club, if I had the option of this club versus this club, this one obviously is probably going to attract more people because it already looks good. So you want your stuff to have a feel that it already looks good. You never want someone who's booking you to speak to be like, oh, I'm giving you your first chance or you're new. You want to make it seem like you're not new. So there's some great examples of how you can do that. Number one, if you can get onto a stage, like on the the yellow and red in the upper top corner, like that's just a picture of me on a stage, right? Now I happen to be doing a speaking engagement, but you can't tell if there's 10, 5, 1,000 people in the audience, right? So if you find a stage somewhere, look, you do what you need to do. I did this in the beginning. If you find a stage somewhere and you got nice clothes on, jump up on the stage. Like if you're attending an event, I did this too. I was attending events, I would jump on stages and get a couple pictures as if I was talking, just so I had something to put on until I could replace it with something that's a little bit more valuable, right? That one in the middle on the top, there's like 5 people in that audience, right? But it could be 500, like in that picture, I mean, there's only 5 people. So if you have a speaking engagement and there's only like 4 or 5 people there, have them all sit right next to each other. I see people take these pictures where there's all this empty space. It's bad branding. Get everyone real close and then have someone take a picture and crop it out if you need to, like the one in the middle. The one on the bottom, where I'm speaking to the students, if you can get pictures with students or people in the background while you're speaking, really cool. If you can get pictures with celebrities, so I got to actually meet Robert Kiyosaki, the guy who wrote Rich Dad Poor Dad. So if you ever see a celebrity, like at the airport or at an event you're at, get a picture with them because it makes people feel like you must be a big deal if you have an association with folks like this. Now you don't have to have celebrities. Maybe it's the CEO of a company. Maybe it's the president of something, It can be anything. And then when people go to social media, your social media's got to look good, right? So this is just a snippet that I grabbed from my Instagram page, right? So I got some pictures of my kids on there. I got some pictures of me speaking. I got pictures of a motivational quote, some TV I was on. And if you go to my page, you may have never heard of me before, but you have to at least think he's gotta be somebody. He's gotta be, right? Maybe that's what you thought. I never heard of him before, but he's got to be somebody. You want to provide that kind of feel. And you do that. And again, you may say, but Aurel, I don't have a lot of speaking engagements coming up. That's cool. Well, do you do community service? Take pictures of yourself during community service, serving people. Are you in the office? Huddle people up and take a picture of people huddled up and point and be like, oh, I love supporting people, The other thing, testimonials. So if you go to YouTube and you type in my name, Arel Moody, hundreds of videos, hundreds of videos. And I always say people, hey, give me your thoughts on my presentation. And then, there's a very specific way to ask for testimonials that we show you how to do in the system. But the key is just literally to get video so that people, when they do their research, they'll go into YouTube. So imagine someone goes into YouTube, they type in your name and speaker, and they see all of these people talking about how great you are. And you may say, but Arel, well, how do I do that? Oh, very simple. If you've helped anyone, whether it's speaking or not, get a testimonial on your phone, like just go like that, a testimonial of them talking about how you've impacted them. Not necessarily you speaking, right? You see the difference? If someone says, oh, we brought in Joe to speak and they're lying, that's lying. Don't lie, right? I would never encourage you to lie. But what if Joe is someone that you mentored and you helped them out and you say, hey, Joe really helped me realize that I can, dream bigger, and he's been a huge support in my life. He can help a lot of people. Well, that's a fine testimonial. You can find like 20 people like that right now, 10 people like that right now that you've helped and supported in some way. Throw some testimonials up, so now you get social proof. Okay, does that make sense? So these are the elements that allows you to start putting out a brand that when people come to you, they go, this person's a big deal. They're awesome. So now you have this amazing brand, right? You have the elements here. There's so much more to do for branding, but you've got the basics for good. But what are you gonna do with this brand? You're gonna go in a street corner and just yell out, I've got this amazing brand. I got these, the last thing you wanna do is have amazing pictures and stuff and nobody knows about it. Well, you gotta have a good brand, and now that the brand is good, you gotta have good marketing, right? How do you systematically put this great brand in front of the right people? Using the right language and the right techniques. Because I'm going to give you the list of 19 people, but if you reach out to them the wrong way, you're going to get blackballed. So you don't want that, right? But once you get the good marketing, well, you're going to have sales calls. Wouldn't it be amazing if you loved sales calls? Wouldn't it be amazing if instead of hanging up from sales calls, you actually were excited about them and it was no pressure and you just walk them through a series of questions, and by the end of the questions, it was a very logical decision for them to ask you for a contract. And then you get all these speaking engagements, you're gonna have to run your business and create systems and make sure that it's not running you, but you're running it. We show you all the systems and we give you how to become a world-class presenter, right? So let's go through it in more detail. So with branding, we go even more deeply with more content and super secret ninja strategies, with action guides, with templates, with examples, with vendors, and everything you need to make your brand the best it can be to attract people, right? So we go even deeper to what we talked about. And there's videos you can watch, audios for you to download, examples, PDFs, everything you need. Then we give you our marketing strategy. This is the secret sauce. This really is. The marketing is the secret sauce. We show you exactly, no questions, do this, this, this. This is how you turn into speaking engagements. What you need to get in front of clients who can book you and want to book you and who have a budget. A lot of times people say, oh, Rel, I've tried to speak at schools. They don't have money. I'm like, word? Word? You've seen, there's tons of money. Easily, you could produce six-figure results. Now, I'm not saying you will. There's so much I don't know about you. I don't know your work ethic. I don't know, do you have a message that's helping people? There's so many X factors. But tons of people have used this and done really well. I've done it. It's been very, very successful. We include something called our Golden Goose strategy, which is super huge. This shows you the pot at the end of the rainbow when it comes to speaking opportunities. There's actually a link that I provide for you that shows you people who have money, exactly how much money they have in their budget, exactly what their specific migraine level pains are, their contact information, and where you can find out more about them. Hundreds of millions of dollars worth of this stuff. I'm not exaggerating. And all you got to do is go in and find the right group of people that you resonate with, that you can solve, and start reaching out to them in the way that we tell you to. We call it the goose that lays the golden egg, because this is funding that gets renewed every year, and this is money, like I talked about earlier, has to get spent. So what's great is I get to impact people and make a difference, and the client's happy because they have funding. They have to spend. Not every school is created equal, right? You can go to one school and they've got zero money, zero budget, no opportunity to help people. And you go to another school and they got a ton of budget and a ton of opportunity to help people. You need to figure out where those folks are. And again, look, if you want to go donate your time to people, that's awesome. I do that still. I still donate my time to help groups that don't have funding, but I like making sure I'm working with people who do have funding, so it allows me the opportunity and affords me the opportunity to help people who doesn't, you know? These are some of the checks that I've received. Now again, just for clarity, I'm not saying you're gonna go out right out the gate and get checks like this, right? But I'm saying it's possible. $15,000 checks, $10,000 checks, $5,000 checks. These are totally possible. These happen all the time, right? But the key is not to focus on the money, because if this is the only thing that's gotten you excited so far and not helping people and making a difference, your heart's gonna be in the right place and I can't help you. If your heart's in the wrong place, I can't help you. If your heart is in the right place and you care about making a difference and you care about others, I'll show you where the funding is. But people in this industry, they can sniff out a con artist real quick. So if you're just like, yo, how do I make money? Show me how to make money. Don't do this system. Don't do the online course. But if you care, you'll get there. And now a lot of people say to myself, they say, Aurel, wait a minute. Are you really going to give away your best stuff? Aren't you going to give me like fake stuff? Because why would you want to create competition? This was a picture I took a couple years ago, which I loved. Okay, that's my friend Bert Gervais right there, right? That's me. I'm speaking at a college that literally the next week my friend is speaking at, my best friend in the whole world, right? He's a speaker too. There is tons of opportunity and it's not competitive, right? Because here's how it works. I speak at a college this semester, maybe you speak at it next semester. There's 5,000 colleges, tens of thousands of high schools. Each college has between 3 to 5 different departments that book multiple speakers per year. So just because you speak at one school doesn't mean I can't speak at that exact same. I've literally spoken at schools where one department brought me in and the other department that booked me had no idea that I had already spoken at the school. It has happened more times than I can count. And look, at most you want to do at most I did 105 in a year, right? That was unsustainable, just travel-wise, and it was just too much to do 105 speaking engagements a year all over the country. But even if I did 105, that's not even like 0.1% of all the opportunities that are out there. So I love this picture because it represents everyone winning. And we, in our community, our mastermind group, where we have support and we help each other month to month, we have people who speak on the same subject. There are people who are finance educators and they help each other. Because it's not, oh, you're gonna take business away from me. It's like, yo, there's more than enough for everyone to win, right? Then we show you selling. We show you a foolproof system for how to sell without being salesy, even if you hate sales. If you've ever been uncomfortable on the phone or not sure how to navigate a call, we show you exactly what to say so there's no sales pressure and the client closes themselves. We show you exactly how to create maximum impact and make a maximum profit, which is the key. We call it our super sales highway. So I want you to imagine you just say this, you say this, you say this like you're on a highway. You know when you're on a highway, you just drive straight and then there's exits? Well, you just drive straight and you say these different things at the exact times we tell you to say it, how we tell you to say it, and then you get off on the last exit, which is the destination, which is either a contract or not. And most of the times, they love you because you're never gonna feel pressure and they're never gonna feel pressure. And you're gonna enjoy sales and you can teach people how to do this. Like if you have someone that's gonna do sales for you, have them use our system, they'll be way more effective. Then we show you the systems, how to run your organization like a Fortune 500 company, but on a shoestring budget. We show you exactly the services we're using right now, how to make them all work, automate many of them to do the work for you, provide the best customer service for your clients so they love working with you and want to book you again and again and again. This is like a speaker MBA. Like if you have a virtual assistant, you can just give them this and they'll run your whole business for you. If you're doing all this yourself, this is gonna allow you to know exactly what to do. Even if you hate tech, even if you're not an organized person, we take all the guesswork out and we give you the structures, how to do follow-ups, how to send emails, how to put together speaking agreements and invoices and templates. We give you everything you need so you just copy, paste, and again, it's all modular. Then we show you the art of speaking. We show you how to deliver a wow presentation that knocks the socks off of your audience and leaves the host dying to rebook you or refer you. We give you access to an entire presentation that I've done, and then I break down in real time exactly what I'm doing so you know how I make a wow experience. I get standing ovations. I get people coming up to buy books from me, to take pictures. They think I'm a celebrity. Not because I'm special, it's because I've created and figured out this formula. You'll get it too. And what's cool is it's not a mystery. I literally will show you start to finish. Here's my whole presentation. You'll see it. And then there's another video where I'm saying, okay, you see where I'm saying this? I'm saying this because I'm about to set this up. You see where I'm going over here to this person? I need to get this person's attention because of these reasons. See why I'm saying this? I'm saying this to get rebooked at the school. See why I'm saying this? I'm saying this to make them think I'm a celebrity so they're excited about me being here. See why I'm saying this? I'm doing this in this way to get them to take this specific action so their life changes. You'll know how to do it. It's like having a secret power, honestly. And look, these are some of the people who are part of our mastermind. I get messages like this all the time. They mean so much to me. This is one of our members who said, I'm actually blown away to have the opportunity to speak in Dubai, right? She grew up in poverty, she was abused, and now she's got a book and she's speaking in Dubai. I love seeing master members win like this. Another one of our members who was super excited to be speaking at his alma mater. He said that he's got his biggest speaking engagement to date thanks to the system, $4,000. So excited for him to succeed, right? Another gentleman that I've helped many times. He's thinking, hey, I just spoke to 500 students for a 4-H group, and man, the energy is amazing. Shout out to Aurel for the strategy that helped me land this opportunity. I love seeing stuff like that. One of our members, Jessica, she said, if you missed last night's webinar, make sure you're on it today. I began implementing knowledge and relevant report out, earned back my true speaking success investment today, and the program hasn't officially started yet. Crazy how the universe supports you when you fully commit to taking action. So I love seeing like a person like this, she invested in our program and then made the whole thing back and some in a day, right? Then people post problems. Now we have real serious problems and we work people through it, but I love seeing problems like this, right? When your proposal is accepted, but you're already booked for another event, right? I love that kind of problem. Like I would love for you to say the kind of problems I have is I'm double booked, right? Dan, he said, I booked my first speaking engagement in January. It's his first paid speaking event. He's gonna have a professional film come out. All of the above is absolutely a result of Aurel and the True Speaking Success System, the amazing support of speakers in our group who help me motivate me daily. I've cut so many days, months, and years off of my discovery in one paid speaking engagement. He already paid for the system. I mean, I love it, right? This is our members. This is two of our members who speak on the exact same content. They're both financial speakers, Stephen and Tanya. They're watching one of the niches that we did about credit unions. So this is one of the replay videos, and they're saying, hey, we come up with a great idea of setting aside time in our speaking business at least once a week to support each other. So this is them texting each other to say, I'm watching it, are you watching it? If you want to be a part of a community, not just get great information, but experience transformation, we have an incredible group of supportive people that will help you so well. We have accountability partners set up for people. It's awesome. One of our other members just did 2 presentations at UConn, right? And he used one of our strategies to make his bio seem like he's a big deal so he can get into the event and speak at one of the greatest sports programs in the country, which is awesome, right? Another guy, you know, there's big wins like this. I think it's a huge win. He's like, hey, I just booked $1,500 speaking engagement at an elementary school, right? So he gave different options. Like, I love seeing that. Like, look, a $1,500 speaking engagement for, you know, a local event, it's pretty sweet. I'll take that. Get up, drive, speak, come back. So, I mean, there's so many different options and so many different budgets out there. It's great. So that's our online course, okay? So I want you to get access to it, but I want to throw in some bonuses for you, okay? So the online module will give you everything that you need, right? It really will. I built it to be the only online course you would ever need to start and run a successful speaking business. But what I found over time is that information is one thing, but transformation is another. So how do you get transformation? Well, I created something called the True Speaking Success Mastermind, and I want to give you access to it. 4 months of additional support with membership to the TSS Mastermind. So what that means for you is you will purchase and you will own the True Speaking Success System, right? That's the online course. And then in addition to that, here's what you'll get for the following 4 months at no additional cost, okay? You will get access to our True Speaking Success Mastermind. This is where twice a month we get on live virtual events and we cover different topics. how to put together your speaking offerings, what you should charge, how email strategies that are working right now, how to get in with the credit union niche. This was a new niche that we put together, and we brought in someone who gave all the information about that niche. We talk about how to put together a sales presentation, how to do storytelling. We go through tons of stuff to support the stuff you already know, but then to give you the newest, best information. We do one on business and one on speaking. In addition to that, we have a Facebook group. This is for members only. This is private. It's secret. No one else knows about it. This is where we share. I'm constantly sharing. I'm saying I'm at a speaking event. Here's exactly how I booked this speaking engagement. Here's who I reached out to. Here's how you can do the same. People have questions. Group is constantly going. It's absolutely beautiful. So you can get 24/7 support from our group. And, here we go. We have live events too. So we have something called the True Speaking Success Summit. This is an event that we do where we bring people together and we give you the hottest, freshest information live and in person. We bring in incredible speakers. It's super, super duper content. We have other events where we do things like create your speaker demo video for you, create your website for you, do your professional photography for you, create branded slides. And so you come to our live events, you get hooked up, right? And as a mastermind member, you get deep discounts to these events that other people just won't get access to, right? We do VIP half days. These are really more intimate. This is part of your membership as well. So if we have a half day coming up, you can be a member of this, no additional cost for our half days. And we work on subjects and we work together, and it's very intimate. It's not a big high produced thing. It's about going to, a home setting and working on our problems so that we're never stuck and we're building the bonds and connections and relationships with people. And for 4 months, you'll get access to a course that we have that's called How to Write Your Own Book. So if you've ever written a book or wanted to write a book, this shows you exactly how to do it the right way, how to make the highest impact and how to use the book as a really effective tool to get speaking engagements, right? So we show you everything you need to do. If you've never written it, you can get a book written super inexpensively and super fast with our strategies. And if you've written a book, you may want to revamp it or come out with a second edition once you realize all the things you probably missed the first time you did it. But if you want to turn your book into a tool that can, be purchased in bulk, that can stay with your audience member long after you're gone, that you can use as a lead gen tool, we show you the right way to do it. And as a bonus, just on this session, you can't get this anywhere else, you will get a free one-on-one coaching session. So in that 4-month period, you'll be able to jump on the phone with either myself or one of my extremely awesome team members. Everyone who works for my team, by the way, has actually booked speakers. So one of the person's name is Bree, for example. She used to bring me in to speak every year for like 10 years. And then I was like, look, you're amazing. I want to pull you away. So I hired her. So she knows exactly how to book speakers. She's worked with talent all over the country. And now she's on our side. So you'll learn, insights. She'll give you the strategies on here's what to do, here's what not to do, here's how to take it to the next level. You'll get one-on-one attention. You'll get a session that is at no additional cost. Now, if you tallied up all of these bonuses, it would cost you $12,000 to get access to all of this, right? All the bonuses, $12,000 just in the bonuses, not even mentioning the online course, right? So the online, the True Speaking Success System, our online flagship course, is just $1,997, right? So for that one time, and you go to our website and purchase it at any time you want for $2,000, right? You'll get the online course for the $2,000, and then you'll get the 4 months of all the bonuses I just mentioned, in addition to help support you on your way to really creating true speaking success. However, I like to encourage action. I really, really do. Because I know the type of person that's going to take action and is going to jump is the type of person that's going to get things done. So this is not offered anywhere else. You can go to our website right now and you can buy the course for $1,997, and people have, and it's 100% worth it. Most people within 1 to 2 speaking engagements, they'll make the $2,000 back. Many, many people will. But for those of you who do decide to take action because you're here and I want to help you move forward, you can get the online course, the 4 months of the live coaching with me, the group coaching on business and speaking skills, the how to write your book course, the access to all the discounts for our events that we have coming up, the Facebook group, the book course, all of that stuff for just $9.97. Or if you want to break it up into payments so it's a little bit easier, you can just do 4 payments of $300. That's it. You're never going to see something like this anywhere else. We don't offer this publicly. It's only available for folks like you who've joined here. And what you can do is see a link. There should be something that comes onto your page right now, okay? What I want you to do is click on that, right? It should be popping up. If you don't see it, just scroll up or scroll down, because depending upon if you're on a tablet or phone or a laptop, it may show up in a different place. But there's a link there. On that link, you can click and register right now. That's also where you can access the 19 groups that book speakers, okay? And in addition to that, I want to put my money where my mouth is. And I want to offer you something that no one else in my work is doing, because no one else believes in the type of transformation we can make. Here's an offer I want to make to you that sounds a little wild. Maybe crazy, honestly. It might be. I'm going to give you 120 days, right? It's 4 months to go through the entire system, right? We release, for the online course, we release a new module every week, so you have time to digest it. There's 5 modules altogether. We'll give you more than enough time to go through the entire course, to have the support, your one-on-one coaching session, to be part of our Facebook group, to get access to all of our previous vaults of past events we've done. We have over a year of content. You have 120 days to go through all of it, right? If you do all the work we tell you to do in the True Speaking Success System, you do it all, and we have like worksheets to like make sure you did it. If you do all of it, and in 120 days, you don't have booked or the ability to book at least twice what you paid, literally, if you don't double your money, I'll pay you 110% of what you invested. So if you dropped $997, I'll pay you 10% above that for wasting your time, right? If you paid 4 payments of $300 and you spent $1,200, I'll pay you 10% above that because I wasted your time. That's how much I believe in it. So I want you to think about this, right? The link is on the page. Click on it, get registered. Here's the worst thing that would happen. You pay, you do all the work, and it doesn't work for you, you make 10% return. There's no investment vehicle, by the way, that will give you a 10% return on your investment in 120 days. Go find a CD or a savings account that's going to guarantee you 10%, right? The other option is you invest in the program, you do everything we tell you to do, and you double your money. But honestly, my goal is to help you get way more than that, but that's like the basic. So literally, you get the information, and the online course is yours to keep, okay? So when you click on the link on this page and go there and register, the online course is yours to keep. You own it at a 50% discount. And in addition to that, you get 4 months of ongoing support to make sure you just don't get information, but you get transformation through accountability. Accountability is how you move your life from being on accident to living on purpose. That's what you have access to. So I want you to click on the link and go to that, because that is going to allow you to register for this course. I want you to think about this. What's the lifetime value of it? You invest less than $1,000. Now I get, for some of us, that could be a lot of money. I get that. And if you're at a place where you can't even get $1,000, like you don't have room on your credit card, you can't borrow it, you don't have a savings of it, like, yo, the information on this webinar totally is going to be useful. I mean, it was free, right? And if you really want to take it to the next level, we're here to help support you, okay? And I want to only help the people. Like, I will never chase you. I will never run after you. I'll never try to beat you over the head and convince you, because I know that's not the type of person I want to help, because I can't help that kind of person. But if you say to yourself, oh man, I do this one investment, how many speaking engagements can I get? What if you just get 2 this year? You doubled your money if you charge $1,000, right? And you could charge way more than that. It's totally possible. But what about next year? You get another 2. Year after that, you get another 2. You can make $5,000, $6,000 off a $1,000 investment. Think about the lifetime value. Every year, the information is applicable. It's the same information that works. I've been using it for over 12 years. It works every year. Full calendar every year. You have the ability to do the same. All you gotta do is click on the link, head over to the page, get involved. In 30 days, by the way, if you don't like it at all, we'll give you 100% of your money back, 30 days, no questions asked, right? But if you wanna get the 110% money back guarantee, you have 120 days to do it. So you've got literally nothing to lose. But let me explain who this is not for. This is not for someone who thinks that, oh, I'm just gonna buy the course and then my problems are solved. That's not how it works. If you're someone who's gonna say, I'm gonna buy the course, I'm gonna do exactly what I wanna do anyway, that's not gonna work, right? If you're someone who's saying, oh, what if I'm brand new? Well, if you're brand new, this is awesome because I would rather have all of this information at the beginning to create a solid foundation and then you can succeed. If you've been doing this for a while, you're gonna, if you already have a little bit of motion, we're gonna give you these tricks and tips and these things that are gonna move you to take action super fast. And you'll be able to integrate them well. You might be saying, oh, Aurel, but it's a lot of money. Look, I get that. I totally support where you are. I know that I've been in places where I felt in my gut I needed to take action, and I did, and it's paid off. And I ask you, what actions do you need to take? And just think about it from a karma boomerang perspective, right? If you're putting out, I want people to pay me $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, but I'm not willing to invest in myself an equal amount, you're putting out to the universe that you want something that you're not willing to do yourself. I'll easily invest $5,000, $10,000 into myself if I think that it's valuable and it's gonna help me, easily. I do it all the time. I'm part of coaching programs, I'm constantly going to events, I'm constantly investing in myself because I know if I'm going to ask people to invest in me, I have to invest in myself. It's just, it gives you a level of confidence. So if you want someone to pay you $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, $10,000, but you're not willing to invest in your own self $1,000, what is that you're saying? What is it that you're putting out there? Bet on yourself. Talk to whoever you need to talk to, arrange the finances in the way that you need to do it. We're here to help push you and see you succeed. By the way, when you click on the link on this page and it sends you over to the place for you to register, you can also get the 19 groups there. In addition to all that, we want to see you succeed. We want you to take the challenges and create a pattern of success. There's going to be a countdown clock. The reason why there's going to be a countdown clock on the page is because when that clock gets to 0, this goes away. The reason why we do that is because we want to get people into a state of action. So when the deal goes away, it's gone, and we wish you the best. If you chose not to invest in us, if you think it's not a great time or whatever, that's fine. We only want to work with people that are really wanting to make a difference. And I'll give you this before we wrap up today, okay? So if I said, take your pointer finger out and I want you to touch each number in sequential order from 1 to 40, right? So you go 1, 2. I want you to, with your finger right now, try to touch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? It's a little exercise. So how many did you do? Okay. It's kind of confusing, a little frustrating. The numbers are all over the place. This looks like a jumble, doesn't it? But what mentorship does, and the reason why I invest so much in myself and learn from people who have done what I want to do and are smarter than me, is because mentors can make sense of a jumble. What if I told you that there was a pattern, that all the numbers are actually in a column, and each number is 2 columns away from the other number? Take a look. There's a pattern. Now that you know and see this pattern, you can go from one number to the next number that's 2 columns away and jump and go from 1 to 40 so much quicker. The average person can try to figure this out on their own and they'll see this and it means nothing to them. And they're just going to, by brute force, try to figure it out. Or you can use a system that shows you what other people don't see and can get you from point A to point B much more efficiently. That's what I'm extending to you in this invitation. So please experience true speaking success. Click on the link on this page. Again, if you can't see it, scroll up, scroll down. If for any reason you can't see it, just email us at info@truespeakingsuccess.com. We'll be happy to let you know about it. If you have any arrangements that you need to be made that you need to let us know about, shoot us an email at info@truespeakingsuccess.com. We'll be happy to help support you. Click on the link on this page, get registered, Get the system and get 4 months of support so you can start truly experiencing true speaking success. I hope that this was super helpful for you. I want you to remember this before we go. You are one presentation away from changing your life, just one. One presentation away from getting opened up to a whole group of people that want to hire you to speak, from coming up with your, specific messaging, your custom keynote, your presentation that truly makes a difference. The presentation that gets you booked and rebooked, the one that finally gets you to get your message down. You're one presentation away. And many people are sitting on so much talent, and it drives me nuts. It really does, because they're sitting on so much growth, and they're not using it. And I hope that you use it. So again, if you haven't done so yet, click, join us, and I promise you on the other side, it's the world that you deserve. Sending you a big old high five. You are awesome. I really look forward to seeing you on the other side. High five.